It's another slow week on the waiver wire as we have our usual suspects on there at wide receiver and running back. But one running back got put on notice last week. It was Zach Charbonnet, seeing more touches, seeing more opportunities, being able to showcase the goods while Kenneth Walker was dealing with a calf injury, still in the game, but seeing a decreased workload. Now, when we get on Twitter, we get on social media, a lot of people are questioning those touches. Who's going to be the guy going forward? We have a good idea that it's Kenneth Walker, but a lot of people are questioning it. So we're going to look at both running backs today, see who you want, see who you expect is going to be the guy going forward, and look into the news, the facts, the data. But before we do all that, make sure you click that subscribe button right now. Tap it with your finger on your phone. Click it with your mouse on your computer. Stop missing out on these deep dives. We cover the waiver wire and fantasy football all week long. We help you set your lineups. We look into football in depth all year long. Click that button. Stop missing out. But let's look into these two running backs. Here we go. We got Zach Charbonnet versus Kenneth Walker. Zach Charbonnet coming back from injury himself, showcasing what he can do in his game back. Kenneth Walker last week missed some practices due to a calf injury. He was limited today in practice. Charbonnet was getting to work today in practice. That's something we're going to go over later in this video. But the touch distribution went in favor of Charbonnet. We talked about the calf injury all last week, and a lot of people are still talking about it on Twitter. So we got to do the video going over it. But first things first. News came out today, just a few hours ago. Kenneth Walker's still limited with the calf. They're still working through that issue. Zach Charbonnet took the majority of the first team reps. Looks like we got two running backs capable of holding down the workload here for the Seattle Seahawks. While Kenneth Walker's on the mend during practice, we have to watch the practice reports again this week and then monitor Kenneth Walker while he's playing, because we got to see whether or not that calf gets re-injured, because calf injuries can do that. And if that happens, Zach Charbonnet is going to get a lot of workload. That being said, looking at the touch distribution from Sunday, the snap share, 58% to Charbonnet, 42% to Kenneth Walker, and the targets were split by 2, and Charbonnet was on the field more. Kenneth Walker was on the field a little less. With that being said, with the workload being split up about 60-40, and then making sure Walker doesn't get re-injured, and Pete Carroll kind of gives us a little bit of confirmation on that. Zach Charbonnet was riding the hot hand. He was looking good. Why pull him out when he's able to move the chains, get you yardage, run the play, while Kenneth Walker is coming back from an injury? Let's listen to what he's got to say here about Zach Charbonnet last week.
No, it's just kind of, he hadn't had a lot of opportunities. We just want to make sure that he played and got a chance to contribute. And when he did well, we stayed with it. We didn't feel like we needed to roll him out of there. He looked very good at the end of the game. He blocking in and running the football. So we're very fortunate to have both those guys going at it right now and just keep it going.
What makes Zach Charbonnet so efficient in his play and execution of it?
Why?
Yeah.
He gets it, the game comes easy to him. He understands. He's really disciplined. Very accountable kid. I mean, when you tell him something, he does it as close to exactly the way you tell him, and he's able to adapt in the flow of things and come up with the right choices and decisions to make things work out. It's hard for a young guy to do the blitz pickup and the pass protection stuff. He hasn't had a problem with it at all, and he's physical enough to take care of it. So he just offers us kind of really a full-bodied guy. He can do it. He can run. He can catch it. He can block, and he's been very effective on special teams as well. He's done a nice job on the punt team and done some really good things for us. So he's an all-around player that we really trust, and he's given us all the reason to do that.
That being said, listening to one of the first sentences he said about Zach Charbonnet, when he's out there, he's rolling pretty good. He's reliable. They're going to keep him out there if he's going to be the hot hand. From what he said there, also, he's a reliable player. They trust him. If he's playing well, if things are going well with that series, he's going to stay out on the field. That being said, he can create his own opportunities by just playing well. Maybe that could eat into the touches a little bit. Maybe we can get a 60-40 split because there's no way he's going to usurp Kenneth Walker. That's out of the picture unless he gets injured. But Zach Charbonnet has proved to be a reliable option in this offense. So if something does happen to Kenneth Walker, he's going to be out there getting a huge workload. That was very positive phrasing there by Carroll. Another thing to think about, when they drafted Christine Michael back in the day, you had Marshawn Lynch as the incumbent. Michael, the second-round pick, he did not see the field. He did not get his opportunities. We were waiting for years because he was electric. He had that burst. He was not dependable. We know that Carroll likes players who are dependable. He gave us some confirmation bias right there. I think that's one of the biggest things when it comes to running backs here with him is a dependable option back there for pass protection, getting you at least what's blocked and running the plays correctly. Sounds like Charbonnet is doing everything he wants him to do. He's good in pass protection. He's a nasty player. That being said, if he keeps running hot, if he keeps playing well to what Pete Carroll sees, that could lead into more touches down the line. But do not shit on Kenneth Walker because he's been a stud. He has been one of the better running backs in the NFL, averaging 14.3 PPR fantasy points per game in the last 2 seasons. He has been dealing with injuries off and on. Even the start of this year, going into the season, he was on the mend. Both these running backs kind of like take their turns getting injured. But looking at him, he's got 2 RB1 weeks on the season, 3 last year, but often in double-digit PPR scoring weeks. That's good to see. And then looking at the snap shares here from Sleeper, 63, 61, 51, 71, 76, 80, and 41. Obviously, the anomaly from the calf injury reduced his role, only 8 carries. His first game this year was single-digit carries in a game, 2 targets, a lot lower workload. Charbonnet was able to step in and help them out. Charbonnet was able to be the guy for them when they needed because he's a dependable option. But the difference between him is the speed. The 4.38 speed from Kenneth Walker, that burst, that explosiveness. And then not also that, he's not a guy that's just pure athleticism. He's smart. He has good vision. He reads the momentum of the players around him very well to be able to time his cuts. He plays cat and mouse with linebackers. Back when he was at Michigan State, we did several film studies on him. Go back and look those up. Google those. I covered that. He's a very intuitive player, and he's got the size of just athleticism to be a home run hitter. He's also nasty at the point of contact. He's a good running back. Wish he was used more in the passing game because that would help his fantasy production. But you just can't have everything. But that 4.38 speed at 211 pounds and seeing the burst on the field is good to see. But these are 2 different running backs. 214-pound Zach Charbonnet might be a little thicker. He was listed in the 220s throughout his collegiate career. Might have slimmed down for the combine. But a 4.5, 340-yard dash. We have a finisher here that can also catch the ball in the backfield. This guy can do things a little different. He's good in pass protection. He's good at doing the little things. Not the home run threat, but a bigger running back who moves very well. Not just north-south, but he moves laterally well for his size and gives you a different dynamic. These 2 running backs kind of pair well with each other. Spending 2 second-round picks on running back is a very expensive move for a team, especially this day and age. But still, we're removed from that. We're looking at them in fantasy. Zach Charbonnet has the profile to hold it down for an NFL team as the primary running back and be productive. We saw that at Michigan. We saw that at UCLA. He could definitely do that, but will he ever get the role? Because you got Kenneth Walker there, and prior to the calf injury, Kenneth Walker was the guy. He's still the guy. He's still the guy holding it down with the touches, holding it down with 64% of the snaps. Kenneth Walker all along has been getting the workload and opportunity. Zach Charbonnet has not seen the field that much. Most of it was from last week's game. We've been waiting for him to pop off. We've had some games where he started to see a little bit more snaps, a little bit more opportunity, but nothing tremendous. Again, Kenneth Walker's getting 34% share of the opportunities, while Charbonnet was getting 12%. That's with last week infused with the numbers. That being said, it's Kenneth Walker's backfield. Kenneth Walker has to relinquish this one way or another. And the big thing we got to look at here is the calf. The calf is the big story here. If he's healthy, if he's good to go, it's going to be his backfield. He's going to be getting the touches. He is the upside. But if that calf gets re-injured or worse, you're going to be looking at Zach Charbonnet as the next man up. He'll be getting touches. Pete Carroll talking good things about him. Decent coach speak there. And again, he would not be out on the field if that was the true case, because we saw him lock down second-round rookies before for multiple years, not giving them the time of day due to them not being dependable. What he likes out of his running back is them being able to pass protect, them being able to run the play, them be able to get what's blocked in a little bit more. Zach Charbonnet can do that. It's all about what the coach is like, about the player when it comes to opportunities and what players are doing more than the others. Kenneth Walker versus Zach Charbonnet really isn't a thing. Zach Charbonnet is going to eat some workload as long as he's playing well. If he's having a good series, he's going to stay out on the field. That's natural. Kenneth Walker, though, has the burst, has the upside. He's the home run threat. He's the guy you want on your team as an NFL coach because he can hit that home run on any given play. But that calf could be a thing. That being said, it's the same thing as last week. We are watching the practice reports. We're watching how he's being used in practice. It's limited right now, so he is practicing. He's out on the practice field. Sounds like a good sign. Looks like he'll be getting some opportunities. But in-game action, does he pull up and get injured? Because that can happen with calf injuries. They can rear their ugly head. They can be a nuisance, and that's something you want to pay attention to. Right now, Zach Charbonnet in fantasy is a flyer running back, and you're watching Kenneth Walker. If you have Kenneth Walker, you may want to get Zach Charbonnet off waivers right now if you haven't already, just in case something happens to that calf, because that could linger, that could get worse. You need to pay attention to that. There's nothing concrete about this. It's all about that calf injury. Zach Charbonnet, second-round pick, has some talent. He's going to get established a little bit more. It might be a 60-40 split, maybe a little less than that, maybe lean more in favor of Kenneth Walker, but we should see Zach Charbonnet get a little bit of extra work going forward. But we're watching that calf, like I said. Let me know what you think in the comments below when you hear about it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.